Stats that show Kobe was carrying Shaq. Shaq's real stats don't lie. Let's get into it. Shout out to Honest Adonis 2. I hope this guy grows. Like the video and let's get started.
Welcome back to the channel. This is Honest Adonis 2. I had a guy say to me, nobody you mentioned is comparable to Shaq. Stop the cap. Which brings us to ESPN.com/NBA/history/leaders. In our continuing pursuits on this channel to disprove the 23 plus years of the narratives, we must examine Shaquille O'Neal and his impact on the NBA, the basketball world in general, Laker Nation, and what that actually means to Kobe Bryant's legacy.
Love when people use the resources they have for the internet. They go on and they verify. Instead of listen to narratives from football players, science geeks, math nerds. Listen to basketball players and also listen to history. And your best way to find that information, the internet. Go figure.
I have to talk about this because Shaquille O'Neal is a part of LeBron's GOAT debate. The manufactured GOAT's narrative is, I'm better than anyone who ever touched a spherical shape. And if you decide I'm not, well, at least I'm the very closest to the guy you believe that is. Let me prove that by minimizing what the guy you thought was the closest to Jordan did by pointing out this other person who he had helping him. See how that guy is A, B, and C, and he did all of this? So that guy is the one who should be getting all the credit. If you don't got him closest to Jordan, because I'm clearly better than that guy, keep that in mind. Put a pin in that one.
Wait, prime LeBron would make Shaq look like an overrated center. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. The only reason that works so well is because Kobe was a perimeter player. Shaq plays better with perimeter guys. If you put another player that isn't a perimeter player with Shaq, it wouldn't work. If you're smart enough, try to figure out why. Try to figure out the closest he got to winning was with perimeter players. Penny Hardaway, he got close to winning. With Kobe, one of Dwayne Wade, he won. He did play with LeBron for a few years. Where did that go? Nowhere.
I'm gonna come back to that. I'm clearly better than this guy who helped the dude y'all think is closest to Jordan. That being said, I'm the one that's closest to Jordan. If it sounds confusing, I told you before, think of it like you're hearing it from a toxic woman. She don't really have an argument. She just wants to be heard talking. Yes, because toxic women, they just want attention. It don't matter if it's positive or negative. You still looking at me. If you weren't here to argue with me and yell at me, there'd be nobody talking to me. Which is why these girls be on social media telling everybody everything. Nobody her complain. She don't got no man, so now she talking to the world. That attitude, she gave that to her son because she's a single independent woman, and her son grew up watching her do that. It just so happens her son watches sports, and he brought his bitch-made opinion into our sport. Not
LeBron fans.
The men in the audience do. The fathers in the audience do. The masculinity in the audience does. I slap your bitch because these niggas talking about this evening. Let's continue with the video. As I was saying, speaking of the GOAT debate, understand, I'm talking about Michael Jordan. And without Michael Jordan, LeBron James is boring. They always say no pip, no chip, but take this little saying along with you in your travels. Without Michael Jordan, LeBron James is boring. That's why.
And look at this. Winning records except for one player. You want to take a guess who? Oh, it's right there. 4-6. Who's that guy? Interesting. So we're celebrating a losing record. Why is it even a debate? Interesting.
He said that one right there made me the greatest of all time.
No.
It's not that one right there. It's the phrase, the greatest of all time. The world, the basketball world, hell, the insect collecting world knew Michael Jordan was the greatest that we've seen. I'm not talking about who you didn't see. You didn't see Wilt Chamberlain. Shut the up. I didn't see Wilt Chamberlain. I ain't gonna lie to you. I only know that he's called Wilt the Stilt because of my OGs was saying that about him. I never watched him play. Leave it in the comments if you knew Wilt was called Wilt the Stilt. I'm talking about in our generation, modern basketball. 1980 forward. Larry Bird came in the league in 1979. If you want to, you can start there. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went to the Lakers in the mid-70s. He didn't win a chip until Magic Johnson got there in 1980. You can start there if you want to with your ass. However you want to slice it, LeBron James fan, because I know your insecure ass is in the corner listening. I'm talking to my people, our peoples who like winning. These dudes are trying to redefine losing like that's better than winning. Lose a couple M's.
Exactly. You can't redefine losing. Losing, winning is winning. What did you do when it mattered? I don't care about the stats, these 7 minutes of the game. I care about the last minute, the crucial moment that decides the game. You can be the best player for 7 minutes and 50 seconds. What about the last 50? What about the last 10 seconds? What did you do? Those moments determine the record. 4-6 shows this person didn't show up when it mattered. Bottom line, point the finger how you want to point it.
And tell me that you up even though you lost an M. Lose your wife or girlfriend and tell me you still up even though you lost your wifey. Soldier, tell these niggas right quick.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the you think you is?
But back to the lecture at hand, Shaquille O'Neal is barely top 10 all time in points.
Wait, what did you say?
Well, why does that matter? Because points and stats in general matter to a LeBron James fan, allegedly. So Shaq's dominance can't be based only on his size. I'm sure they want to base it on his finals MVPs. Then you got to talk about...
Wait, Shaq's number 10? I thought, no, Melo passed him. Melo passed him. And Harden passed Melo. So it should be Harden then Melo, not Shaq. When is this video? Let me look how old this video is. 3 days ago. I'm not sure when he looked at this. But this is not up to date. And what Dirk is there. Melo passed Shaq, I believe. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know.
Jordan's dominance, because he has 6. You got to talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's dominance. But they don't want to do that, because that's not really the angle they're coming from with this narrative. But it doesn't stop there. Shaquille O'Neal is not even top 10 all-time in rebounds. How is that possible? But Dwight Howard is. Now, I'm not saying this is a better center.
I didn't know that. I did not know that. Maybe I need to start checking this. Sheesh.
Shaquille O'Neal, what I am saying is, LeBron James, you had Dwight Howard on your team in 2020, and he helped you win that COVID ring. Not to mention, Dwight Howard knocked you out of the 2009 Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know how that happened, especially if you can play all 5 positions, allegedly. Why didn't you shut down Dwight Howard? Because you're supposed to have won Defensive Player of the Year one year. You weren't, because Dwight Howard got Defensive Player of the Year how many times again? I forget.
It's like, LeBron fans, just stop talking. Because the more you talk, the more it comes back to get you where it hurts. It's almost like the things they say work against themselves in due time. Just stop talking. You're talking against your points. You're contradicting your points. He asked some valid questions. And I'm now thinking about it, man, these LeBron fans really make themselves look worse. They don't think about what they say. They just say it. Golly.
You tell me, LeBron James fan. Defensive Player of the Year don't matter, right? It matters that LeBron don't got it. At least to LeBron it matters. Look at these bitch-ass niggas squirming to figure it out. Why don't you at Crutch Sports and ask Rich Paul, how should we respond to this? Because we know you don't know basketball. You just sheeple following behind what the last person said. And I hope you send this to your favorite basketball whomever. He don't want these comments. I told you before. I got jokes for every one of you hoes. Continuing on. Shaquille O'Neal is not top 10 all time in assists or steals. I mentioned assists because who knows how long it will be before Joker is top 10 all time.
Whoa, look at Westbrook. I didn't think Westbrook had that many assists. This era of basketball is stat padding to the max, honestly. If any players of this era play for 15 to 20 plus years, they'll all pass these guys off them.
Assists, which is a feat for centers, you gotta give it up. Speaking of which, as we talk about Joker, this graphic says no wonder Jordan was 6-0 in the finals. They're basically trying to say there weren't no players like this when Jordan was playing. I'll do you one better.
Dirk. And
ask you
why are
we
these
don't talk
birds
about
here?
There weren't no Wembys, Jokers, Ats, or ADs as far as centers when Shaq was playing. Oh, I don't remember Shaq having all of this dominant luck when he played Yao Ming, and I'm the franchise like a Houston Rocket. Yao Ming. I remember Shaq being on his I apologize. So tell me what to do to get through to you. If you wasn't alive, you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you was, leave it in the comments if you remember Shaq being a pop apologize nigga just kiss like Nas said in Ether about Jay-Z. Now, why don't these narratives ever address Shaq didn't really have no competition? I don't know what it's like to see Shaq against Anthony Davis.
That is a fact. I'm thinking back to all his matchups in the finals when it comes to centers. Who was his competition? I don't even know who was on the Pacers that year. On the Nets, who was it? Kenyon Martin? Like, what was it? It's like 6'9". And then Mutombo, like an old Mutombo. Who are the best players on those teams? On the Philly, it was Iverson, who was the shooting guard. On the Nets, it was Jason Kidd, point guard. On the Pacers, it was Reggie Miller, shooting guard. Interesting. So all perimeter players. Right. So the centers were basically nobodies, and he averaged that many points. You wonder why, but people leave out that detail. But how did he do in the West? Against Tim Duncan, against Chris Webber, against Rasheed Wallace and them? How did he do? Did he average 38? Nope. He averaged in the mid-20s at least. But who led the team in scoring in the Western Conference? Kobe Bryant. Nobody talks about that. Nobody. It's interesting when you take away context how things seem the other way around.
There's nobody to compare it like that in the 90s. I don't know what Shaq would do against Cat. There ain't nobody. I don't know what Shaq would do against Wemby or Joker. Shut your ass up. You not let me break this down for you. I'm not arguing with you, debating like whatever you're talking about. I'm coming from the perspective, and shout out to the people 4 or 5 years ago been rocking with my TikToks and now over here rocking with my YouTubes. And remember me saying, I'm your host, Honest Adonis Esquire, and I'm counsel in this basketball court. What's on trial? My top 10 all-time list. It doesn't matter who's there. The important part is LeBron James is not on it. I will submit to you.
But I wouldn't doubt why he's not on it. The number one reason why I shouldn't be on it is because of his finals record. 4-6 is a losing record. 4-6, I don't care about all the other stats. Doesn't matter, it's not relevant. Will Chamberlain has the best stats. Oscar Robertson has the best stats. Russell Westbrook has the best stats. Jokic will soon have the best stats. There's more to it than stats.
This trial, evidences, and proofs that support my claim LeBron James is not top 10 all time. This is the point of view that I'm spitting at you LeBron James fans from. You can't out-argue logic. And once you present it in open court, even though it wasn't in the discovery, now I can say it too. You Google all that, LeBron James fan, because you're not smart enough to even be following me anyway. In answering the question that I presented to you all, the reason that they don't talk like that about Shaq, that would go against the narrative. And it states Shaq carried Kobe. How could Kobe be carried by a guy who didn't even have any competition in his position? They all...
Thank you. Thank you. I know I'm not the only one that sees that. I know I'm not the only one. How come in the West he didn't average as much points versus the East? How come? How come? If you're 7'1", almost 350 pounds, and you're facing centers half your size, not as good, shouldn't you average 40? Let's be real. People never want to go back and look at the information. Never. They glance past the 3 rounds of basketball and skip to the finals. They don't want to give you the full context.
Already got people all balanced by saying Jordan didn't have no competition at his position, which is false because Jordan beat a 2-time ring holder, finals MVP winner, shooting guard in Joe Dumars.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that by him. I knew that I bet the team, but I didn't know about him like that. Okay.
Joe Dumars, he got the first finals MVP. Isaiah didn't even get it. So if we was really looked down and dirty, disingenuous like you LeBron James fans are, we'd say Isaiah didn't win a ring until Joe Dumars got there.
Oh my goodness. Context means everything.
Bring up your stats, facts and figures. I dare you. But probably what they're going to do is start talking about something else, somebody else, because LeBron James needs more help. Oh, no, Isaiah got the second one in 1990. The Pistons were supposed to be the dynasty, but Jordan and the Bulls came and beat them. Didn't Jordan and the Bulls go to 2 Eastern Conference Finals in a row? How great is Phil Jackson really when you were given the keys to the franchise? You didn't start from scratch first round. You didn't even start from the second round. You started your job as head coach in the Eastern Conference Finals. Dude, you was 5 steps away from the finish line. I'm not taking nothing away from Phil Jackson. I'm saying stop trying to over-give him flowers. That's a part of the narrative too. We're going to minimize Jordan and emphasize everybody else around him, even the hot dog vendor. Jordan would not have been able to make them shots if the dude giving out the Gatorade didn't give Jordan a glass of Gatorade. See? And some LeBron fans listening will say, well, how you expect for a center to be top 10 in steals? Because Hakeem...
Wow. LeBron James fans, just be quiet. The more you speak, the more it's used against you. It really. It's so true. They'll do anything to diminish LeBron's teammates, LeBron's coaches, LeBron's franchises, LeBron's situations. Elevate Jordan's coach, Jordan's teammates, Jordan's era. They'll do everything possible so that Jordan seems less great than what he was. Oh man, it's a pathetic tactic.
Olajuwon, the guy in Michael Jordan's draft, yes, I'm gonna say that again. Hakeem Olajuwon was drafted the same day as Michael Jordan. He is top 10 all time in steals.
Wow. And Hakeem is better than Shaq. Hakeem's better than Shaq. Hakeem beat Shaq. You guys remember that? He's better than Shaq offensively and defensively. Shaq dominated the way he did because he played shitty centers that weren't good. Get it through your skull. Hakeem played David Robinson, a powerhouse, and Shaquille O'Neal himself, and bet them both with less help. Hakeem didn't have Kobe Bryant and didn't have Tim Duncan, and he beat both of them.
The center, nigga. This is, side note, what we was talking about. How you gonna have the guy that you was drafted with on the same day, top 10, top 5, on the same team with you, and try to act like, well, that's the same as having Scottie Pippen. That's a different video, and we're gonna do that with each other.
Whoa. What? First playoff game together? Maybe Scottie Pippen's overrated. Maybe Scottie Pippen's overrated. I can't wait for that video. I'll be looking out for that.
On a different video. But for right now, understand, Shaq is not top 10 all-time in steals, assists, rebounds, and he's barely hanging on to top 10 all-time in points. Shaq is top 10 all-time in blocks, but you're below Patrick Ewing, David Robinson.
Whoa. Below all the players in Jordan's era, except Tim Duncan. Oh my goodness. So all the players now, all the stat padding, they're not here. Of course, it's going to be offensive stat padding because we all know there's no defense in this time. And this shows it. This proves it. This proves it.
Tim Duncan, Mark Eaton, and at the top of the blocks list again, Hakeem Olajuwon,
Wow.
drafted on the same day as Jordan, the only guy in the decade of the night, other than Tim Duncan, let me not get that wrong, who won chips during Jordan's era. And I say, a lot of LeBron fans will pretend like this don't matter. Steph Curry should not have as many rings as you. Steph Curry shouldn't have close to as many rings as you.
I agree with that. I agree. Even the finals, the last one, Kyrie got hurt and Kevin Love got hurt, that was winnable if you were that great. I watched it. I witnessed all of it.
That in and of itself is a video for another day. You leave it in the comments if you want to hear a breakdown on that.
And the funny thing is, LeBron James fans skip that and blame the whole loss to Devi Deladova. They skip that and they start talking about the KD Warriors. They skip. They just, I don't know what to do, but they gaslight. They gaslight to the point you forget the topic and then make it about something else. Typical gaslighting tactics by LeBron James fans.
In short, Shaq, as one of the great centers, is not held to the same standard that Jordan and Kobe Bryant are. The reason for that is because Bill Russell, Shaquille O'Neal, Robert Horry, the decade
24 rebounds a game. That's insane.
of the 90s, Jordan's competition, Larry Bird, the first round of the NBA, all of those are a part of LeBron James's GOAT case. Like I was giving you guys the whole attorney analogy in the beginning, that's their exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F.
That's
all
crazy.
of these things are what they're presenting to the courts as their evidence that Michael Jordan is guilty of being overrated, and this is why we should dismiss the case. Anyway, that's my take, and I'm sticking to it. You leave it in the comments and tell me if you agree. But remember, basketball fans, and you might not, if you don't agree, like LeBron in the finals, you lose again.
Wow, great video, man. Great video. I said enough throughout the video. Let me know your thoughts as well in the comment section. Stay tuned for more reaction videos, and I'll catch you on the next reaction.